Hello friends, the next is that we have some sort of a program, some line of code, and for this line of code we have to generate 3 address code. Okay, just before write down the 3 address code, just understand this program. There is a while condition that there are two, in the while condition we have a two condition. If this condition is true, then we have to check this condition, and if it is false, it do not go to this if condition, and it move out of this loop and print the last statement, whichever be the statement from after this line. And for this condition, if this is true, then it moved into the if condition, else again if this condition is not true, then it move out of this these lines of code and print the next line, whichever be the line here. Now if a equals to 1, if this condition is true, then it print c equal to c plus 1, and after, if it is true, and after this printing again check this the while condition when until this condition will become false. And if this condition is not true, then it goes to the else part and check the whether this condition is true or false. If this condition is true, then it print this statement, and else if it is not true, then it again move to this while condition. Okay, now if while printing, after printing this statement, it again check this while condition, and after until this conditions become the false condition, and after that it again check the while condition. If it is true, then follow the same procedure, and if it is not true, then print that statement which comes after this line. So according to this, we generate the 3 address code for this program. So we have a first number to check if, first is that if a is greater than c, a is less than c, then go to that label which check this condition. So we till now we leave it as blank. And second statement is, if this condition is false, then go to where the after this line the next statement is printing. So we make it as that label. Okay, now the third condition, if this condition is true, then we have to check this condition also. So if b is greater than d, then go to that condition which check this if statement. Okay, so if this is true, then this condition will be checking. So make it as third label, because this condition have a statement is 3. Now if this condition is true, then go to that line which comes after this line. Okay, now after checking all these conditions, if it is true, then we have to check this line. Then if a equals to 1, then go to there where we have to print c equal to c plus 1. So if these two conditions are true, then we have to come into this part. So if this condition is true, then we go to third, that is check this condition. If it is true, then we have to move into this loop, that is if loop, that then make it this label as 5 here. Now if this condition is true, if a equals to 1, then we have to print c equal to c plus 1. So we make it that label here where these lines are printing. Again, if it is not true, if a equals to 1 is not true, then if condition is not true, then we make the else part. That means we make that label where this condition will be checking. Okay, so we will leave it as blank. Now if a equals to 1, then we have to print c equal to c plus 1. So we make it as 7 as make a temporary variable t1 where we can store c plus 1, and then assigns t1 to c here. Okay, so if this condition is true, then we directly move to the 7th. If this condition is true, then directly move to the 7th part. Okay, then 9th line, after print this statement, we again check the while loop until we get the false condition. So this, after this we go to 1. Okay, now 10th line, after printing this statement, we move to the else part. Okay, so if a is less than or equal to d, then go to, means if this condition is true, if a equals to 1, then we move to this. If this condition is false, then we have to move this. So at the 6th line, we have to mark it as label where this condition is checking. That is 10th line. So we mark it as here 10. Okay. Mark it as 10. Okay. Okay. Now, if this condition is true, then we have to print a equal to a plus b. Else, if this condition is not true, then we again have to check while condition. So 11th line is that go to 1. Okay, go to 1. Now, after this, if this condition is true, then we have to a equal to a plus b. Okay, so we may make 12th line, we make a temporary variable t2 and make it as a plus b. And then at the 13th line, we assign this value t2 into a. And after this, after checking or printing this line, again we check this else part. So we make at go to that line, that is 10th line. And then again we check the main while part, that is 1. And 16th line is that line which comes after this. So if this condition is not true, then go to 16th line. If this condition is again not true, then it go to 16th line. And at the 10th line, if it is true, then it print this statement, that is at the 12th line. So this is how we write down the 3 address code for a particular program. I hope you understand this. And if you have any query, then you can ask in our comment section. So keep watching.